Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So, just like Katie said in the chat, pretty heavy chat before I started the show. So, don't forget to turn his channel notifications on so you don't miss a show. So, you don't want to miss a show because I'm putting out some really good information. So, a lot of people probably were like, Mike, what are you talking about when I said, like, well over a week ago that there was going to be boots on the ground? I mean, all of my peers, everybody was like, they didn't say anything because they know better. So to doubt me, they probably did, but we're absolutely going to see boots on the ground, and maybe tonight. All right. So this weekend, am I going to be accurate? I don't know. Could be next weekend. You know how I like throw that out there so that everybody doesn't focus on, one time frame to give the enemy some kind of advantage, which they will never have at this point. But, bombing has reached over the last several hours, has reached a whole new level. 4 B-2s have come in and dropped bombs, bunker busters, so forth. Of course, the Iranians are still shooting some missiles out that they still have left. It's less and less all the time. But one of the things I want you guys to be aware of, and I want you to focus on this, because you can take out their leadership, but it doesn't mean you take them all out, right? It's like a Navy platoon, or, Delta group, or SEAL Team 6, whatever. Everybody from the top ranked person who's usually in charge all the way down to the most junior person, you can take out everybody. If that junior person's still alive, he's going to continue to bring it to you. All right. And that's the way we're seeing right now in the Middle East. I've worked against these guys for decades and decades. It doesn't matter how many people you take out, they're going to reconstitute at some point and come back at us. All right. So we're going to have to completely take their whole system down. Right. The only way that's going to happen is with boots on the ground. Right. So now we're looking at even more troops going. They're talking about 10,000 more troops. Okay. We just had yesterday, Friday, we had the Marine amphibious group, basically, that just sailed into theater of operations under CENTCOM, Central Command. So they're there. Now, you know that Central Command and SOCOM, Special Operations Command, is in Tampa, Florida, together on a base there. And that base was attacked just recently by 2 Chinese, brother and sister, right, with an improvised explosive. Interesting. All right. So where are the Chinese at in this? Right. Now, the Chinese have been given free rein to run their shipping, their cargo of oil through the Straits of Hormuz. They're acting like they're paying the Iranian regime yuan, which is what they demand now. And so they're letting them slide through. And Trump is like, let them roll. We need to get a little bit of oil out there so things don't get too bad. Right. So Russia is like really pumping that oil out there. Trump gave Russia the green light to get their oil out there so they can make more money to kill the Nazis in Ukraine. And so NATO Nazis are going to Ukraine. They're getting killed too. So Zelensky, why is Zelensky going, oh, I can help you guys with, defeating the drones. Why is Zelensky getting so involved? Because Zelensky's about to lose his American surface-to-air missiles, right? So the surface-to-air missile batteries that are in Ukraine are about to get yanked and put around the Middle East, areas where there's still going to be some drone and missile strikes that are going to continue to come from Iran, right? So what is that going to do for Ukraine? Well, it's going to open them up to even more strikes from Russia, right? So, and Russia will have air superiority like never before. They've pretty much been there already, but they're still, like holding back a little bit, but this will really, really let them bring it to the Nazis in Ukraine. Now, the Nazis in Iran are about to get annihilated, right? Any and all of them that want to resist, right? Now, I know a lot of you are like, well, you got 3,500 Marines, you got a couple thousand, 82nd Airborne, you got, 10,000 more, Army with their vehicles and so forth, armored vehicles that are, supposedly coming in. I've said that there's probably a lot more forces there already that we don't know about, right? So they're just, dripping, people into that location. They're not there to just party, right? Because all the bases around there are getting hit. It's very dangerous to have troops there right now. So these troops are going to get involved. And you have another Marine group that's coming, amphibious group that's coming from San Diego. They've already been underway for several days now. It could be 10 days to two weeks before they get there. That's if they stop in Hawaii and have a little, Liberty, fuel up, get some more direction. If they continue past Hawaii, that means they're full speed ahead all the way until they, come in guns blazing, guys, right? So will the guns start blazing tonight or tomorrow night? I don't know. Maybe. So we'll see, won't we? Right? Now, there's been a lot of people in Congress, political scene, that are saying, I won't support boots on the ground. I'm like, what? You've supported Trump all this time and you think you know better right now, and you're not going to support that, and you're openly saying that. And of course, we have the Kings, demonstration that are going on around the country. These are usually just old communists that, their heyday is gone. They thought they were going to, I see them still wearing their berets, and they're like in their 60s and 70s and 80s. They thought they were going to have communism here in America, and it failed. Never. And they're lucky, because if communism did come here to America, they probably wouldn't have lasted as long as they have, right? America would have been toast. And if communism were to still come to fruition like the Democrats dream of, it will be destruction of America. So it's not going to be allowed, right? It's not going to be allowed. And so that's where we're at with that. So I think we're firmly in the camp of no communism will ever come to America. And in fact, we're going the other way so fast, and communism from the Democrats is being defeated in such a resounding way across the country that there's no way that it's going to take root. In fact, it's being pulled out by whatever root system that it started to insert itself all across America. Everybody's being shown, the fraud that comes with communism, the fraud that comes with the Democrats and with the rhinos. It's being exposed over and over again throughout America, right? So we're still at tip of the iceberg as far as a reveal on the corruption and the stealing of American wealth and so forth, because all of us in America are wealthy, all of us, extremely wealthy, right? Now, will you live long enough to enjoy that wealth? Remains to be seen. It's going to get pretty hectic out there, and till the point where we have this beautiful, golden age. I call it the Renaissance of consciousness. I've been calling that for over 5 years. It is moving in that direction very quickly, very rapidly. The number, I think we're well past the tipping point for people to have awakened. More people are awakening, every day, every time I do a show, Right? So I've had people come up to me and says during the lockdown, it's like, I was really stuck and stupid, and then I started watching you, and it really woke me up. I'm like, that's fantastic. If I could just hear that from more and more people, I think it is happening, but a lot of people don't want to admit it. They want to have people believe they've always been awake, right? I see that out there, I was like, I don't remember that you were awake before. So, but whatever you want to believe, that's fine. You're awake now, that's fine. Good for you. So it doesn't really matter, whether they've done stupid, as long as they didn't do pedophilia, really, really horrific stuff. They're good to go, right? Let's move on. Let's put all that behind us. And those people that have done really, really horrific stuff, let's hold them accountable. And if they try and run, let's hunt them down and bring them back to justice. So that's really, really where we're coming. So energy lockdown coming. I don't see that. Now, some countries are going to try and push that. Some countries are already trying to push energy lockdowns. They're saying, yeah, you're only going to have to work 4 days a week, and the rest of the time you're going to be home, not doing anything. Kind of like that 15-minute city thing they dreamed of. They had they're so just, I want to say, like, they were just orgasmic over it. They're like, oh, we're going to have this. Oh, it's like, geez, you guys are like creepy with this 15-minute bullshit city stuff. All right. So Democrats got to go, guys. They got to go. All right. So we're going to see that probably start to take root in some areas. And just like we saw with the COVID lockdown, guys, don't let it happen this time. All right. There was a lot of us we're screaming from the rooftops, don't go there. And a lot of you guys did. I know a lot of you guys have learned. A lot of you guys have awakened, and you're not going to get sucked into that bullshit again. Right. Where could that possibly happen? California. Right. So California has been shutting down. It's in anticipation of this time, has been shutting down its refineries, driving out. It's like, we're going green. And it's like, that's like so stupid. Right. So you guys we'll go green when it's time to go green. You guys are pushing this because you want to have control and you want to lock everybody down. So that's we may see in some places, some of this, lockdown. If it happens in America, it'll happen in the big blue cities, guys, just like the COVID push did. So there's still a lot of people, like I've said, there's still a lot of people that give these people room to do their stupid, right? And as long as we have unawakened people in some of these big blue cities, that give these absolute crazy people, look at Newsom, look at Hochul. They're some of the most stupid people ever in history, yet they're in charge. And it makes so much sense when you think about the Democrats, because they don't want people that can think for themselves, that are of merit, that really make things happen. They want people that they can puppet, so that they can control and lock down and destroy. So that's why you have people like that. It's like crazy. It's crazy to me, but it is what it is. So pretty much the left coast, Oregon, stupid, crazy idiots in charge. Washington State, stupid, crazy idiots in charge. California, stupid, crazy idiots in charge. Colorado, stupid, crazy idiots in charge. Illinois, stupid, idiot, fat boy in charge. And then, of course, Hochul, and, all the way up the right wing of America, Connecticut and all those areas up there, extreme stupid. And the people that are there don't want any of that stupid. But these people have gotten in charge, just like Iran, right? The Iranian regime basically wormed their way into power, and then they cracked down on the people, and the people have been under their thumb ever for 47 years, right? And then, of course, in California, we have the people of California under the thumb of Newsom And then the same thing with New York, and on and on and on. So there will be a pushback once they're exposed. The people that are completely dumbed down, Idiocracy. Wasn't that a movie or something? Idiocracy, where this guy was like in a program where, and he wasn't the smartest guy. He worked for he was like a junior guy in the Air Force, and they put him in a program where we're going to wake you up in a year, and everything went bad. And he woke up like decades later, and all of America was like stupid, right? It's kind of like the educational system had really ramped it up and really dumbed everybody down even more than they are now. So he comes out and he's like this master, right? Because he's got common sense and he thinks for himself and he can look at stuff and go, that's dumb. And everybody's like, oh. And then they see him as a threat, of course, because he's so smart and he's getting things done and people want him to be in power. So that's kind of what we're seeing, like I'm talking about, in the left coast and in the right wing of the United States. So that is something that will eventually just go away. People will just wisen up and they'll just get smarter, and they're like, how did we ever follow that idiot or those idiots? And they'll just fade away. All right. And I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of stuff. It's just going to fade away. All right. So if you missed my show with the, three amigos, we talk about some of the stuff. I went into a little bit of detail about that. So I'm not going to belabor it here, but there is a lot of, rising of consciousness. Now, who is really in charge of it in Iran, right? Well, the IRGC is really, because they have plans, guys. They planned this for decades. They knew at some point that America was probably going to come in when we finally got a president that had some cojones, that broke away from the deep state and came in to basically shut them down. So they were going to basically strike out. They have these plans. They had these plans for a long time. It was the same thing with Saddam Hussein. We took Saddam Hussein out. Iraq erupted, right? So they knew that they were going to turn the Sunni, the Shia, who were in charge, or maybe it's vice versa. I don't know. I think it was the Shia. So they were going to turn everything against the Sunni, going to start a civil war. They did that. And then, the enemy of my enemy is the enemy of your enemy is my enemy. And that's the way they saw all of the NATO troops and U.S. troops. So they all attacked us, right? So we not only they're attacking each other, but they're attacking us. So it was quite a mess, right? We're not going to see that in Iran. We're not going to see puppetry from the deep state. Deep state is being taken down, guys. This is why we're in Iran, taking down the deep state, one of their last bastions of control. The next one will be Israel, and then probably the city of London, the Vatican, and then pretty much, it's all roses and no more war and peace and the launch of the Renaissance of consciousness and so forth. So we're moving very quickly in that direction. But there will be a period of time, I don't know how long, I guess a couple, 2-3 years maybe at the most. But I think we're moving towards the pinnacle of the problems, if you can really even call it that. I don't even see Iran as a pinnacle problem, right? The real problem is our deep state leadership that's pretty much has to be completely removed from the political realm of the United States. That's where the real problem is. So when does that get launched? It seems to very, very much be moving in that direction very quickly. But we'll see. Are they going to wait till they have this Iran thing under control, or are they going to launch it at the same time? I don't know. So, but regardless, it is going to be taken down. So these different supreme leaders. So the supreme leader of Iran is dead, and then his son supposedly, although we haven't heard from him, so that leads me to believe that he's incapacitated or he's dead, or they're working on him, trying to get him back up to speed so that, maybe give him a prosthetic arm and leg or whatever, and get him back up to speed so that he can walk around and, make comments to like inflame the crazies of Iran and the rest of the world. I don't know. But regardless of who's in charge, they're still taking out leadership. So today, 2 more people in leadership positions were taken down by all of our airstrikes. So the airstrikes aren't stopping because Trump said we're not going to blow up your power plants. We're just going to put that on hold for right now. And I think that's a good thing because the people of Iran, you're going to hurt them probably as much, if not more, than you're going to hurt the leadership of Iran. That's just going to inflame the people of Iran more, and who knows where that anger goes to. So, in Dallas today, they're having the CPAC, and somebody asked a question, do you want to impeach Donald Trump now? And everybody started screaming, yeah. And it's like, what? The guy that put it out, that said that, thought that everybody was going to say, of course not. We never wanted that to happen. But they were screaming, yeah. So it's obviously the CPAC has been infiltrated by Democrats, right? Democrats will come in and they'll vote, rhinos into position. We've seen that with Greg Abbott and some other people that have won primaries. So, there's still a lot of fraud out there. And so this guy was like, and so you must be kidding, or maybe you didn't understand. And then he asked it again and asked it a different way. And they still were, yeah, let's impeach him. So they're like, we're going to impeach him because, he's conducting a war against the deep state in Iran. They don't understand. They don't understand what's going on. Right. So, and this is some of the things I've talked about for quite some time. The big cities, I don't care if they're in a GOP predominant area. You're still going to have, in these big cities, especially Dallas, which has had a lot of Democrats run that thing. Have you ever been to Dallas? You see the road system in Dallas? They've been working on the road system for 20 years. Yeah, that place is friggin' corrupt. They should have gotten that done 15, 20 years ago, whatever. It's still working on it. It's corruption, payoffs, all kind of stuff. And it still sucks. It still sucks to get around Dallas. So it's a long way to change some of the people, guys. And who knows, will Dallas be, one of those hotbeds where, the whole city gets taken down? I don't know. I doubt that. I think the people of Dallas are, the real patriots that are all around Dallas. There's a lot of them. They will destroy anyone that tries to do anything like that, which they have done in the past. Right. So I've talked about that on several shows. Right. So now the problem with Iran is that this leadership, and one of those leaders was the guy that basically anytime the people rose up, he would crush them, kill them. And so it's hard. Imagine J6 and the people of J6, there's 1,000 people that are so that they put under trial, and a lot of them just I'll just plea bargain and, do a year or whatever, or pay a fine, whatever it was. Very few really, pushed it and went to court. Now imagine all those people had been executed, right? So that's kind of what happens in Iran, right? So that place is gross. And the same thing is coming for America. It would have come for America if Hillary Clinton had won. And, so we have dodged some bullets, but in some of our cities, we won't be dodging bullets. Those cities will burn, I believe, and I've said that. And I don't know how it happens. Maybe it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I thought it would have happened by now, so maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they have prevented some of these cities from burning, but we'll see going forward. We'll see when the elections get pushed. Right? So the midterm elections, because we have all these people that are being arrested in the political realm. And, they would have been people that would have gone up for re-election. And so they're arrested and they're standing trial, and people are seeing, the horrific stuff. They were like, so we're not going to have that election on the slaughter day. So in the November timeframe where we do our elections, that's normally where the farmers, slaughter their animals for the season, right? So there's reasons why the deep state did a lot of the stuff they've done here in America, and we need to change a lot of different things. So pushing it into spring so we can get some really good people, and potentially going up for offices. I think it'll be a lot better. And maybe we just cut back on a lot of this stuff because, a lot of NPCs and clones and so forth seem to be disappearing, because you see 52 major cities now. It was 23 or something like that, maybe even less, maybe like 15. I don't know what it was. Cities were having more people that were leaving than were coming in. So the population was in decline in 15, 20 something cities last year. This year is 53. So my thoughts are that the clones and the NPCs that we've talked about would at some point kind of get pulled or disappeared. I think that's already started to happen. So yeah, we go off a little topic every now and then, but you guys got to hear it. You got to wake up. You got to wake up to something even bigger than what you believe, we're in right now. So supreme leaders are, if you could call them that. So any aggression against the supreme leader in Iran of our country is tantamount to all-out war against the Iranian nation. Pezeshkian said in January 18th. So they're already anticipating that things were going to get bad. So this was the elected president in 2024, and so that's what his thoughts are. He's a physician and a reformist, right? So, but he's all out with kill everybody, and all of these radical criminal psychopaths that are in charge in Iran are all about let's make a lot of money so we can take over the Middle East, and then eventually we'll take over the world. And all the Muslims that we've infiltrated into Europe and America, we'll have them turn against the people that are there. They're outbreeding them, so it'll be easy, right? So that's kind of what I believe we're seeing, and that was their plan, and that was the plan of the secret societies for a very long time, right? And we've talked about that on several shows as well. All right. So Trump said in the State of the Union address on February 24th that Iran was developing nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles that could soon reach the United States. So we had to go in and stop that, right? So imagine those missiles that are flying right now and hitting bases, military bases, U.S. military bases, which we'll probably won't need after we take down Iran in the Middle East anymore, because we're going to bring all those people back home so that we can, fight the deep state in America, right? So once all of those bases are no longer needed, they're being fired upon right now, they're getting blasted. Not so bad, but, they're taking some hits. Most of the missiles and drones that are coming in are being taken down. But a few of them come in and they have bomblets on them, missiles with bomblets. They drop hundreds of bomblets, and they blow a lot of stuff up. So they've had some successes, but not on a massive scale, right? So Khomeini, back in March 1st, he talked about the fiery martyrdom of the wise leader of the Islamic Revolution will remain with the Iranian nation for many years to come. This was Pezeshkian, and the crime of the criminals and the martyrdom of Iran's dear ones will not create any hindrance in the determination of the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran to fulfill its duties and responsibilities. So there again, guys, they're telling you that they're going to keep coming at us, and they're going to keep coming at all of the nations there in the Middle East, and maybe even Europe, because they had that one missile they shot all the way out, or two missiles they shot all the way out to Diego Garcia. The length that those ballistic missiles went would have hit London or Paris or Berlin. So they're right there at that capability. Who knows? Maybe they still have that capability. Maybe they still will blast. I don't think they will, but maybe they'll still blast some of these. The potential's there. The potential's there. That's why we have to take them down. So that's what's going on with the crazies. Now, here's what Trump said. He's extending. There's always something more that's said in all of these addresses, guys. So when Trump speaks, he's always had some codes that he's dropping as well. So letting those of us that are, letting you guys know a little bit more.
The opposite of desperate. I don't care.
The president said he's postponing attacks on Iran's infrastructure for 10 days at Iran's request.
So that takes us on the other side of, or right at, Easter. So, Christ is risen. So is something happening, hidden comms there? We'll have to see.
They asked for 7. You're going to say, oh, Trump's a terrible negotiator. They asked for 7, and I said, I'm going to give you 10.
So 10.
But with Iran denying any...
10, 7, 17, right? So hidden comms, always hidden comms.
direct talks and mocking the U.S. as negotiating with yourself, Trump explained how he's confident progress is being made.
Can I reveal the present?
For the first time, he revealed that big, expensive gift from Iran was 10 oil tankers allowed through the Strait of Hormuz.
I said, well, I guess we're dealing with the right people.
He says the move proves the people he's talking to have power to control the key shipping corridor Iran has effectively closed off for almost a month. Oil tanker traffic is down 90 to 95% since before the war. Economists now expect U.S. inflation to jump to more than 4% this year because of the conflict. Mortgage rates moved higher for the fourth straight week, while mortgage applications are down. Global oil prices are up more than 40%, and the American cost of gas is up by almost $1 per gallon in the last month. Amid all that tough economic...
All right. So, there's always hidden comms. Those ships that I got through, somebody got to pay off. All right. So they're starting to deal with us now. So like I said, there's lots of different people that are in charge during these time frames where things collapse. People step up and keep things going. And you could have, somebody that is the negotiator, while everybody else, tries to kick ass in the case of Iran. But what you're going to see probably fairly soon, if not really soon, is that you're going to have special forces that will move like we always do first. So SEAL Team 6, Delta guys, and then the regular, special forces groups. And then you'll have behind them, you'll have the regular military groups, which I don't think of the Marines as a regular military group. They're the most badass fighters in the world, right? Now, where else have we seen badass fighters in the world, right? Where else in time, in history? Right, I'm gonna bring you to a little island in the Mediterranean called Malta. Right, back in 1565, the Knights Hospitaller, St. John's Knights, John the Baptist. He was the Hospitallers, hospital. They helped people that needed help with if they're injured or so forth or sick. That's what the Knights Hospitaller was about. Of course, there were warriors as well, kind of like the Knights Templar, but I think the Knights Hospitaller were kind of a little different. Knights Templar were about money, and the Knights Hospitaller were about really, really helping people. And boy, did they really help, the world at that time, because they stopped the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire at that time was basically just steamrolling over all. They took down Constantinople. They were at the gates of Vienna. Of course, we had the Polish king that came in with his cavalry at the last second. They're about to scale the walls of Vienna, and he came in, and I think his name was John too. So he came in and basically, hammered they caught him by surprise. And they cavalry charged them and drove them from the field, and they went skedaddling. They'd almost taken down Vienna. But the Knights Hospitaller, they were up against, I think they had 180 ships or something that came to Malta. They just defeated the Knights Hospitaller in Rhodes, and some of them escaped to Malta. So they had 40 to 50,000 Muslim warriors, and a lot of them were the Janissaries. Now, the Janissaries were basically where they went into Christian cities and they cut the heads off of everybody. And of course, the Shriners with their red fez, basically with their, Muslim swords and their ideology about Muslim and all that kind of stuff. So the red fez on the Shriners' hats is basically the Muslim conquerors, when they came in and slaughtered the people in the Christian cities, they dipped their fez hats in the blood of the Christians and then wore it. So the red fez. All right. So we know that the Shriners and the all these secret societies have basically conspired against us. They're trying to start World War III. Christians against Muslims. It's not going to happen. They're going to fail in their thoughts, in their machinations, Machiavellian machinations. It's not going to happen. So, and the reason why I'm telling you here about the Malta is because they defeated all 40 to 50,000 of these Muslims that had basically conquered everything for 100 years, right? And they came up against these knights, and these knights had created these star fort looking things. I wonder if those star forts were already there, but anyway, they came in and they had cannons, and they basically blasted the knights. And the Janissaries were basically the Christian boys that they took from these cities where they slaughtered all the other Christians. They kept the boys. And what do you think they did with those boys? Kind of like what the Catholic Church does with boys, right? And yeah, they did very, very bad things sexually to them, and they twisted their minds, and they turned them into automaton warriors that would just attack. All right. So the Janissaries were their frontline fighters. So they sent wave after wave after wave of Janissaries at the Knights Hospitaller in their forts with their cannon, and they blasted them, and they blasted them, and they blasted them. Only 2,500 against 50,000, and they basically kicked their ass, all right? And the Muslims basically skedaddled, and that was they stopped. So everybody in Europe was like, well, we're done. We're going to be Muslim. We're going to be Muslim now. And of course, they had several hundred years not to be Muslim, but of course now they're Muslim because they allowed that to happen through the Masons and all these other secret societies that basically brought them in. All right. So here in America, we're resisting that. We're turning against that. We're like bullshit, right? Ain't happening here. So that's why I believe that the Marines with firepower, just like they had these advanced cannon systems and so forth back then, we have extremely advanced firepower from our air. And those Marines, devil dogs, are going to kick some serious butt, I promise you, right? yes, we may have casualties, but we have casualties all the time. We have casualties in training. I know I've had a lot of buddies that have died in training, and not as many and more, really. Not as many as more, other than a couple times where there's very suspect aircraft that went down, especially after we got Osama bin Laden. This helicopter went down in Afghanistan, and I keep hearing all kinds of different things, and people tell me that they're hearing from some of the guys that supposedly survived. So I don't know. So it's all over the map. Some of this stuff, will things get revealed? I don't know, but I know things, and people know things, and told me things, and I don't know if they're true or not. But people have contacted me and said, "Don't say stuff about that," and I'm like, okay. So I think we're past the point where I can start to talk about a little bit of that stuff. So anyway, so we're going to kick some serious butt coming up, and if we get some setbacks, that happens in every war, every conflict. We just keep pushing forward, and we're going to win. Right now, bond problems. We could see something a lot more difficult coming with our bond system. All right. So I went to Bondgate just a few days ago, and I did a show where I talked about that, all of the different scams that we have been subject to. Of course, President Trump is going to do away with the IRS. He's going to do away with the Federal Reserve, and he's going to have a treasury note, the first president in history with his picture on coins, and he's going to be signing treasury dollars, not Federal Reserve dollars, fiat. It's going to be American money, and Donald Trump's signature is going to be it. Now, we know that the Trump derangement syndrome people aren't going to be able to touch that money. They're going to melt. It'll be like the Wicked Witch of the West. They'll touch that money, and they'll look down and they'll see Donald Trump's signature on there, and they're going to melt. So again, like I've been telling you, a lot of people disappearing. So, we're probably going to see some radical leftist melt and disappear. So let's play with it. Let's play with it, right? So $30 trillion bond market collapse. We're on the verge of their system, the deep state system. We're pressing it, I believe. We're pressing it to collapse. And this is some of the stuff that's happening. So there's always multiple things that happen. You do a conflict here, and you're moving chess pieces over there, and they're not paying attention. And then you come in, you basically take their asses down. So let's listen.
If you're interested in finance and are alarmed by what's going on in the bond market, this video is for you. The $30 trillion US Treasury market is showing growing signs of trouble. Something is breaking.
Now, a lot of you are like, the stock market, it's all about the stock market. Well, it's actually about the bond market. And where the bond market goes, that's where the stock market will go.
Beneath the surface of global markets right now, and it's not stocks, at least not yet. The real signal is actually coming from the bond market. As you know very well, the bond market is the foundation of the entire financial system, and right now it is flashing a warning that has historically preceded broader market stress. And we're talking about rising yields, we're talking about surging volatility, and of course, deteriorating liquidity. This time, the trigger isn't a banking collapse or a housing bubble or an AI bubble or any type of a bubble. The trigger is war. U.S. Treasuries actually sold off on Thursday with the monetary policy sensitive 2-year yield up 0.12 percentage points to 4%. The 2-year yield has soared 0.62 percentage points this month, which puts it on track for its worst performance since September of 2022. Additionally, an auction of the same debt earlier this week received a really bad reception. So in terms of the bond market, the foundation of the financial markets, it's bad news. A rush by bond traders to effectively unwind U.S. futures positions as the sell-off continued was very alarming. According to Morgan...
Very, very alarming. All right. So you guys have heard me talk about just recently the bonds gate situation and how we pay these property taxes for the bonds that are written for schools and blah, blah, blah. And we're finding out that that's massive fraud, massive. It's fraud beyond belief. It's a Ponzi scheme where they continually push more bonds. So a bond basically is getting ready to reach, maturity, and then they add another bond on top of that, and take out the payments further, get more money. It is out of control. We should not be paying property taxes, period. We should have never started paying property tax. We should have never started paying income taxes. All right. So a lot of this stuff is going to be collapsed. But when it collapses, guys, it's going to get a little funky. All right. Now, I believe that the good guys are trying to slow roll this and squeeze that and squeeze here and push there and, have it collapse a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. But the baddies could come in and just pull the rug at any time. So just have to be aware that, you need to have food and water and, necessities and medicine. If you're taking medicine, backup medicine, and you need to be on, you should be on LifeWave. But if you're not, then whatever you're on, hopefully it's working for you. LifeWave will work the best for you. All right, so now here is another one. Nail in the coffin. War is nail in the coffin of economy as credit crisis spirals out of control. So this is going to be worse than anything that we've ever seen by far, by multiples.
The administration requesting an additional $200 billion to keep the war going. Does this accelerate the economic decline in America?
I think so. There's obviously, as we need more weapons and things like that, there will be companies that do better than others. But for the irregular consumer, the only thing that was giving them any latitude at all was gas prices. And now, it seems crazy to most people that 25 cents, 50 cents, $1 can make a gallon can make such a huge difference, but it does because there is just no wiggle room. And so, what I remember 22 very well, like we had to give people gas cards just to get them to work because they couldn't afford it. And so, in the United States, we drive a lot. We don't have a lot of public transportation. And so, this is a big deal. This just kind of puts the nail in the coffin. And there's, and we're continuing to see layoffs. And so there's nothing really coming at this, in the near term for to change this picture. So it accelerates it. It makes it worse.
All right. So I saw, or somebody said, I didn't see it. I didn't look it up yet, where $4.09 New Jersey for regular gas. Owie. So so we're basically seeing some companies are saying that they're going to double the price of plastic. Plastic, of course, uses a lot of petroleum product. So they're going to double the price of plastic. So we're going to see a lot of things probably go up in price, and not just gas, but gas goes up. And of course, we've said this many times that, things are transported, things are brought to you. The guys that are bringing you your Amazon that you order or whatever it is you order from wherever you order it, and it gets delivered to you, those gas prices go up and those prices for those products are going to go up. And it's going to be the same across the board. It's what happens. So you're looking at, I would say 3, maybe 4 more weeks, just a rough guesstimate of when this, it could be less, could be a little bit more, of when this Iranian regime is completely eliminated, right? we're going to have our Malta moment coming up. So, hoorah, Marines and, you 82nd Airborne guys or whoever's going to get involved here, prayers for all those guys and prayers for all the people within the Gulf region right now with this kleptomaniacs that are running Iran. They're going to do crazy stuff because that's what they've always done. I've been around these guys for decades. They're savages beyond your belief, right? And I've talked about, how they deal with women and so forth over the years. If you don't treat your women as if they're precious because they bring in life and they're intuitive and they're, help, build and so forth. If you're not treating your women in your culture with incredible respect, then your culture is doomed, right? So they're doomed. Iran's doomed. Of course, that's not all of the Iranians. The good Iranians are waiting for help, they're bunkered down and waiting for us to come and help them out. And they're going to be very appreciative. And it's going to change the entire Middle East. It's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. So now oil prices will continue to go up. All right. And it is what it is. It is, part of the decimation and destruction of the deep state. It's happened before. They've manipulated the markets to their own ends and means, but this time they're getting, hammered out. So as you see here, U.S. oil on Friday reached a high of 101. It was up $7, over $7. UK oil is up $106. The Dixie, the dollar index, is up over 100 again. And usually when the dollar goes up, then you're going to have the metals go down, but you didn't see the metals go down. So I think we're reaching the end of the quarter, the end of the short positions being, basically taken out. The highest number of short positions in the history, and now we're close to some of the lowest short positions. So all of those short positions being manipulated out of the market, really, took a lot of wind out of the sail of the precious metals, but that wind is about ready to kick back in. I think next quarter we're going to see some amazing movements in the precious metals. Bitcoin, I think, continues to go down. It's going to be a buying opportunity. Don't get your panties in a wad, guys. Ladies, I know you're not, but guys, I know, because a lot of you guys are like you're crypto boys. You're just like all about crypto. Hold it if you want, but you're going to get it for a lot cheaper, I believe. So this is going to continue to go down. The crypto markets will continue to pull back along with the stock market. Maybe they'll get another boost. I've been predicting that stock market has not seen its all-time high, so we may see another pop in the stock market before this is all over. I think maybe after the Iran war is basically pretty much settled, we'll see the price of oil drop, and we'll see the prices of stocks really take off, and Bitcoin will as well. But eventually, this market will crash. It's always crashed after we've had a big spike in oil, right? Always. So we're going to see this thing crash. Could, like I said, see another spike. But I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it. If it happens, it happens. That's great, because I know the precious metals will blossom along with it. And Bitcoin at some point, probably in October, we'll see its low, maybe towards the end of the year, maybe earlier. But I think 35,000 for Bitcoin, and that's when I'm going to move in, and I'm going to start to get some, right? Same thing with XRP. XRP may get close to $1, or maybe even a little bit lower, and that will be a buying opportunity. So if you're in silver and you're making good profits on silver, which you are, if you listened to me several years ago, if you didn't, and now you're regretting that, it's not too late. It's not too late. So get it while you can. Start to add to those positions, and you're probably going to see great wealth transfer into precious metals from the stock market at some point. All right. Exorcist. So we're going to have Leo Zagami on tomorrow. I think he's coming on at 3, and he's going to talk about how the Catholic Church is really pushing for exorcisms, right? So we need to get rid of all those demons that are here in Earth, all right? So this could be a good thing.
We'll have you talking to you at 5 o'clock, my friends. Concern now about a surge of Satanism caused the Pope to meet with the world's most senior exorcists at the Vatican. Experts told the Pope that every diocese needs a priest who can perform an exorcism. NBC 10's Nicole Mader asked local parishioners what they think about this.
Pope Leo met with representatives from the International Association of Exorcists, where they told the pontiff about their concerns of a worldwide surge of Satanism. EWT in Vatican reports that the association asked the pontiff to ensure that every...
So I think this is quite interesting, don't you? That we're taking down the deep state, and some of these people just seem to be disappearing. Well, those demons that are attached to them, they are like, taking flight and trying to find other victims. So I think this is a very good thing. Now, I did a show yesterday where I talked about this. And what I have found is I don't cast out demons anymore. I disintegrate them, right? I send them back to the light. I departiculate them and send them back to the light wherever I encounter them, wherever I'm guided to take them out, which I've done quite a few, all right? I took out Osama bin Laden's. I took out Hillary Clinton's. I took out Joe Biden's. I took out Kamala's. So you see, those are all different people now, right? And of course, Osama bin Laden is no longer with us. So a lot of people that I have focused on, I basically take their demons and I disintegrate them, right? I send them into the light, all right? Departiculate them, all right? So this is something that's going on in the world right now. If you're not someone that's been trained, I have courses where I do some of this training, but if you're not very well trained in this, because I learned the hard way. Fortunately, I had Archangel Michael come and save me. When I started out on this, I was completely clueless, and I was like, I'm going to kick some demon ass, and that didn't work out so good, right? So you don't fight them on their level. You send them love. You know how I talk about love. I learned the hard way, guys. It's all about love, right? You stay in the love vibration. They don't like that love vibration. And you surround people that you think are baddies with love vibration, like Newsom and Hochul and all these other people, which I've been doing. They go bye-bye, right?
Every diocese in the world has one or more adequately trained exorcist priests.
Most dioceses do have an appointed exorcist.
Father Gabriel Chiretta at Providence College says the church holds a healthy skepticism of claims of possession and is only considered after ruling out all other possible factors.
They're extremely rare. We believe that they are real.
In today's day, exorcists are typically priests that are specifically appointed by bishops. They can investigate claims of possession, perform the major rite of exorcism, which is rare, or more commonly, they can offer prayers for spiritual distress.
Father Chiretta says the way someone can become possessed is only if they are inviting demons into their soul.
Common things that people do that people don't take terribly seriously but can be serious are things like Ouija boards and tarot cards and fortune tellers. If somebody does that stuff often enough, it is just pretty much a guarantee that at some point they're going to connect with someone real, and that someone real does not have their best interests at heart.
This isn't the first time a modern pope has faced the issue. Pope John Paul II dealt with it himself in 2002 when an Italian newspaper reported that the pontiff had performed 3 exorcisms during his papacy. Then in 2018, the practice of exorcism got a modern twist. About 200 Catholic clergy in Rome learned how to perform the ritual via cell phone. And Catholics in Rhode Island say they trust the pontiff's judgment.
I believe the Lord appoints people who are going to do the best for us.
In Providence, Nicole Mader, NBC 10 News.
All righty. So yeah, tomorrow we'll have Leo. Leo went way down that rabbit hole, all this stuff, and he's talked about it quite a bit. He's got incredible books. So we'll have Leo on once again tomorrow to go into that. What's really going on with the Catholic Church? All right, it may not be what you think, or what even I think. So it'll be interesting to see what he's talking about. So, like I said, the numbers of people that are leaving the big cities is increasing. So let's go into this article. LA and San Diego suffer major population drops as immigration slows and California residents flee. All right. Or is it people just disappearing, as I think, right? It's a sharp reversal for regions that have long depended on a steady flow of newcomers to keep growth alive, right? So here we go. ICE basically getting rid of illegal immigrants. And then, of course, you have the idiots that are, fighting against our laws, which keep illegal immigrants out. So the Los Angeles area, the imbalance is hard to ignore. Roughly 131,000 people packed up and left in just 1 year, while only about 38,500 new international illegal, or some of them are actually legal. New international arrivals came in. It's nowhere near enough to close this gap. San Diego seeing a similar pattern with outbound domestic migration outpacing gains from abroad. So, these numbers are much, much bigger than I thought. All right. So across the country, the trend is gaining momentum. I'm glad I brought this in. A total of 83 of the nation's 387 metro areas lost population over the past year, up sharply from 52 the year before. Some of the numbers are a little bit off, but as far as like how many different cities, it's up, right? A lot more than what I thought. And even many of those still growing are slowing down. One big reason, fewer people coming into the U.S. in the first place. Yeah, because the border's closed. Nationwide population growth crawled. So this is people being born and people dying. So we have a negative population growth here in the United States, which is that really a bad thing? Because we have a lot of overcrowding in a lot of different areas. So crawled and I think that a lot of people are like, I don't want to bring children into this nightmare that we're going through right now. Let's wait to the golden age, all right? Smart. So nationwide population growth crawled at just 0.5% last year, one of the weakest showings in recent memory, if not of all time. At the same time, about 40% of metro areas now see more deaths, 40% of metro areas now see more deaths than births, increasing reliance on new arrivals. No, we need to draw down the population. We're overcrowded in a lot of these big cities. So yeah, and they're full of, knuckleheads. So let's just downsize them. Hopefully we downsize the knuckleheads. And in a striking shift, last year, the U.S. saw more people leave than arrive, a rare reversal not seen since the Great Depression, which I believe we're headed for another one of those, right? Maybe even more severe, right? Until we turn things around and we bring in new things. So new cryptic messages coming from the White House. This started happening, I think, a couple of days ago. And I was going to put this out yesterday, but I was like, I'm going to sit on this for a day and kind of watch this, because a lot of people were saying we're going to go into, 10 days of darkness, starting today. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. So I'll come on tomorrow. If it hasn't started, then I'm just going to put out, that there is something going on, right? So let's look at a little bit of this. So this is the White House X. So if you go to x.com and you put in White House, they have a they have their own little Dilly Bob little channel, and it has some very interesting things they're dropping. A lot of people think they're trying to drop some information to us. So White House message reversed. It's going to give me an ad. Oh, hate that. All right. So I'm just going to jump off that because basically somebody like took the music out and slowed it down, and it says, I think a major announcement tomorrow.
The Home Depot is your home for low prices.
That didn't come, right? So unless it's still some time left today, I guess, I don't know. But there was a lot of little cryptic messages that were coming through that yesterday, and a lot of people were interpreting that, there's going to be something major happen today. Still waiting, right? So that's kind of way I felt. That is, there's some kind of, is it disinformation or is there some kind of information that's being dropped? It does seem to be some little information that's coming through there. Some people have, interpreted it different ways. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. And, going forward, maybe we'll see these EBS happen. I've always thought that was a possibility. I remember when David Wilcock was talking about that with Kerry Cassidy, like 10 years ago or more. Still waiting, right? So that was a long time ago, and we still haven't had that. So I'm like, if it happens, it happens. I think there's other things that are happening. We don't need that unless shit really hits the fan. And whoever's, controlling or, making sure that things don't get too out of control, they're doing a good job. So that's why we have an EBS. But if things get really out of control and they really have to lock down and hammer, that's when potentially we're going to see the EBS. So again, just have the car filled all the time, right? Don't let it get too low. And have extra of everything. And, if something happens, it happens. You're not like sweating it. You're not caught, flat-footed and somebody throat chops you and you're flat-footed and you're going to go back pretty hard. So I've done that to people. So it's a pretty intense time, but not if you're prepared, not if you're, awake, which most of this audience is. I would say 99% of you. Some people are like, what is he talking about? Somebody's like, they're like, I don't know why I'm watching this channel. And I've heard from people like that over the years. It's like, I don't know why I was drawn to you, but you woke me up. I'm like, okay, that's good. So it's not me. It's God. God sent you. Right? I'm just a conduit. Right? So there is a lot of information that's coming out right now. Now, one of those is Melania and the Figure 03 Do robot that she walked out with the other day. And what's going on with that? What's the comms on that one? Right? So let's look at this, see if I can find the video on this one. All right. Where is it? Jeez. Is there more to this? Is that it? What happens next? All right. So what configure DO3? So here's a picture. She walked out with this robot. I don't see. Maybe they took the video down. I don't know. I'm not seeing the video now. But you can probably look it up. I'm not going to hunt for it and make you guys wait around. But this video was very interesting. So it comes out, and so she's doing the runway walk, one she's a supermodel. Of course, she knows to do that. So she's like 1 foot in front of the other one. And the robot is walking like Joe Biden. And so some people say, I don't know if it's Joe Rogan or somebody's, made the comment. It's like that robot looks like Joe Biden. Whoa, the way he walked. And was Joe Biden, did we see a Joe Biden robot? Totally possible. Totally possible. All right. So there were definitely several people that were playing Joe Biden. There's several people that play President Trump as well, guys. So, and I've seen a different Melania as well. She looked like the person that was playing Melania looked like a Secret Service woman. But, they have to have, when there's threats and they have public appearances, they can either just say, I can't make it, or they can send out the body double with extra protection, of course. And body doubles get taken out either, but that's what they do. So anyway, this robot walked out with her and then announced her. Says during his speech, the robot framed his participation as part of a broader effort to connect technology with education. So we know our educational system is massively compromised. So maybe they're trying to, get it up to speed, which I think is a fantastic thing. Now, Elon Musk has said that at some point in the near future, there will be more robots than humans. Now, I can't see them making like 9 or 10 billion robots. But if we basically take, there's probably about 70% of humanity is NPC and or 50% or 40% or whatever. And then we got another 20% that are clones. It's our robots and clones. Then we can probably see a lot of them with some kind of rapture situation, which I'm saying is already starting to happen, is basically going to take them out. As our consciousness rises, their frequency can't maintain in our vibratory field as we raise it. So they just vibrate out, right? They disappear. I mean, literally disappear. Now, on some level, they still exist, but on our frequency level, they will no longer exist, right? So it would be like, you're standing on the land and I'm underwater swimming with my scuba, and I exist on a certain level that's different from what you are, and you would say, yeah, it's still the same but kind of different, right? So dimensionally, that's kind of the way I kind of try and describe it to people. People are in the air and airplanes. That's kind of like another dimensional level. You're not at that level right at when you're walking on Earth. So think of it like that way. I don't know. Maybe it's not the best one, but that's what comes to my mind right now. So maybe I'll make it better later. So, I don't know. So I have a hard time understanding dimensions. So yeah, hopefully that helps you. Now portals and all kind of crazy stuff are, part of our reality. We're stopping the portaling of negative energies and negative beings come into our reality. Soon we're going to see a lot of the stuff that they've been hiding from us and dumbing us down. Like our Earth is, we only have a very small portion. You look at what we believe is a globe, that's a very small portion of what the Earth is. We take down the ice wall, which is coming down pretty soon, I believe, and we're going to interact with those beings that are in the greater sphere or whatever, flat Earth sphere, dimensional realm, whatever, the rest of Earth, and then it's going to be amazing. And then we're going to be like, those MFers have been like screwing us over for so long, teaching us bullshit. Right? So, some of us have already started to awaken to that. So dimensionally, our consciousness is starting to reach into these other realms. And that will be a different dimensional realm, I believe, I feel, right? So vibrationally, sometimes you can, if you've ever done a really good meditation And if you've never done a good meditation, I have like exceptional meditations in my Unleashing Intuition courses. Please learn how to meditate. All right. Get your consciousness under control. Learn about the different brainwave states and learn how to meditate, and then meditate on your own. You can put yourself in a meditation. And I'm always in a movie meditation. I'm always in La La Land. All right, so, even when the baddies are trying to kill me, I'm like, you can't kill me. It's you don't know what you're doing. You're lucky that I don't kill you, because I could do it so easy. So there's a lot of us that are moving into these higher levels of consciousness. I think that, like I said, that as we move into those levels of consciousness, a lot of the manipulations and the stupid people and the clones and the NPCs just fall away, guys. And, the manipulated sports, football, you dummies that still watch football, it's all manipulated, in baseball, and all the scores, but there's a lot of things you don't know about, right, that you should. So, all that stuff is going to fall away. Everybody's going to be like, God, I can't believe I used to follow football. It was so stupid. I'm glad I'm awake now. So, I've helped a lot of people do that. So it is moving that direction. It's a fantastic time to be alive, and just stay in that love vibration, follow your intuition, and if you don't know how to follow your intuition, I have become the master of your reality. That's the first course you start with. All right, guys, lots of love. Stay in that magnificently beautiful love vibration, and the earth energy is very feminine. You can go to areas where it is like very bad, like the Middle East. All right, a lot of places in the Middle East where it's dirty and desecrated and filthy and so forth. And look how they treat their women, right? So treat your women good. You don't completely have to put them on a pedestal, but kind of, right? So, helping you girls out. You like that? All right. Very good. All right. Stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.